Inside the Story with 60 Minutes producers Michael Ray and Oriana Zil de Granados. Ori, Michael, you were the lead producers on this week's 60 Minutes story about U.S. diplomats who say they were attacked by a mysterious weapon that left them with brain injuries. Mm-hmm. How long have you guys been reporting this story?
I would say it's been about a year, maybe a little bit longer. We were attracted by the fact that this was a mystery that hasn't been solved, and the people who were actually victimized here had never been heard from directly. Their voices were missing in the story. So we set out to really talk to them.
So tell me, how are you feeling right now?
I'm not feeling well, not at all. I'm nauseous, dizzy, I have a headache. My equilibrium is a bit off.
Strong nausea and headache and dizziness.
You have trouble retrieving words?
I do, yeah, significant trouble.
So debilitating that it feels like your head is being split open. So debilitating that I couldn't sleep. I was thinking, what is wrong with me? Something's wrong.
How did the story change for you once you heard it from the people who experienced it?
It went from being a sort of James Bond spy thriller to being actual victims, people who were really hurt, children who were hurt. That's some of the reporting that was most interesting to us, is we didn't realize how many children of diplomats were affected by this.
You believe that someone in the room above you was using some kind of a weapon to attack your family in the hotel room below.
I do.
And that they specifically targeted your children in their beds.
Yes, I do.
And could there be a cause that none of us have even considered yet?
Yes.
Sure.
Absolutely.
You're reporting on something that's invisible. Were there moments where you had doubts about what you were hearing?
Yeah, I mean, frankly, we've been doubting the story from day one, and that's part of our job. But on this story, with so many unknowns and so many questions unanswered, and just the bizarre nature of what's happened here, it was a daily occurrence. So we've been incredibly careful to check everything we can and to try to be clear with the audience about what we don't know.
What does the badge signify?
This is my Diplomatic Security Service badge.
These are State Department and Commerce Department officials.
Put your hands on your hips and close your eyes.
And their stories are incredibly compelling. And their medical records are incredibly compelling.
In your story, you refer to these people as victims. Is it possible that they're victims of their own imaginations? Has that been raised?
So there was some reporting that was done that claimed that this was mass hysteria. There are a lot of elements here that just discount the idea of this being mass hysteria. A dog can't get sick because he thinks somebody else is getting sick.
There were nonverbal children having symptoms as well who aren't going to look around and...
They're not susceptible to mass hysteria.
You'd think.
Children and dogs.
Exactly.
The State Department sponsored treatment at the University of Pennsylvania, and they were all there in and out for the same period of time. Our understanding is that in the waiting room they started calling each other themselves the Tinfoil Hat Club.
The Tinfoil Hat Club. What's the meaning of that? What's the joke?
It's the old trope of sort of the crazy guy who puts tinfoil on his head so the aliens can't beam, messages into his brain. It's a gallows humor. These folks are really trying to grapple with what they're dealing with.
Everyone in your broadcast story says that they were attacked while they were serving in China, but you also spoke with people who were attacked in Cuba, including one woman who speaks on camera, and she's wearing a disguise.
You have asked us not to use your name. Why is that?
Well, I mean, this isn't something that any of us really want to be known for.
She is the first victim from Cuba, a diplomat, to go on camera to tell her story.
There was an amazing pressure in my head, also pain, and it was almost paralyzing for a moment. I don't know if that was...
The way she describes the attack is very important because it matches so closely to some of the other stories we've heard.
And then you start...
Yeah.
It starts looking like a pattern.
Yeah, correct. There's definitely a pattern.
You've been concerned about keeping your identity out of this. So I wonder, why did you sit down to speak with us at all?
I really want our story to be told. I want America to know what happened to their diplomats serving overseas. And I want people who were injured in these events to come forward if they haven't come forward before, because treatment does help with the symptoms, and it's not something that you should have to live with and suffer through alone. So it's important for everyone to hear this.